Welcome to Cavaletto Studios. I'm Chris. Do you feel pain in the back, hips, knees, or neck? This 1-hour foam rolling class will help you to massage and relieve muscle tension in these areas. You will need a foam roller and a tennis ball. So let's get started. We will begin on the upper back. So we're going to be seated with the roller long ways behind us, and we're going to lean back so it goes right around the shoulder blades, fingertips behind the ears, but not interlaced so we don't crank on the neck. And we're going to lift the hips and just gently roll the upper back, the thoracic spine, from the top of the shoulder blades to the bottom. So just releasing whatever tension is there, maybe get a little natural chiropractic adjustment. One more time. And then we're going to lower our hips back to the floor, and we're going to lift up nice and tall. A couple shoulder rolls, and then we're going to move on to glutes. So that just helps get things moving just slightly and released in the upper back. And now we're going to sit up on the roller. We're going to do both sides, but we're going to start on the left glute, left butt cheek. We're going to lean over to the left hand. Both knees are bent and feet are flat, and you're going to use your feet to roll to the top and the bottom of the glute. So if you have like tight hips, any low back pain, this is very helpful to release the tension there and just get more mobility as well. So between loosening up the upper back and the hips now and the glutes, that's going to help take away some of that low back pain, hopefully. Continue rolling, and now we're going to go a little deeper into the glutes. So you're going to pause right in the middle of that butt cheek, pull that left ankle up and over the right thigh, and we're going to roll again from the top to the bottom of the glute. Getting that whole area in. Now, if you find a trigger point, tender spot, you just pause on it and move that knee up and down. And then try again, rolling again. Now you're going to roll towards the leg, almost to the bottom of that glute, and then rock yourself side to side. So you might be hitting a little bit of that sits bone, going into the side of that glute. You're going to continue to rock side to side, but as you rock, I want you to move your body just slightly, like a ½ an inch forward towards the front of the mat, and then rock side to side again. So we're moving up through the glute, but side to side. And then slide forward again and continue to rock. So the roller is moving up the back of that glute. Keep on moving until you get towards the top. When you get to the top, we're going to drop to the elbow, and we're going to straighten out that left leg because we want to get a little bit into that TFL, the side of the glute and the top of that, the edge of that hip. So just now you're rocking your whole body sideways onto your left side, that soft spot right at the edge of the glute, not hitting the bone. Just roll it side to side. Now I want you to stay on that side, hold it there, and pull that left knee in and out about 4 times, just massaging along, getting that movement. One more. And then we're going to release, and we're going to sit all the way up, and we're just going to transition to the other side. So just lean over onto your right glute, right hand behind you, and we're going to roll to the top and the bottom of that butt cheek. And notice the difference. One side can be very different than the other. All the way to the top and the bottom. One more. Now we're going to find the very middle of that glute and then pull that right ankle over the left thigh and roll again. All the way to the bottom, all the way to the top of that glute. So big range of motion. You might have to lean into it a little bit, go way to the bottom of the glute like you're going towards those sits bones now, and just hold it here, a little rock side to side. And then this is where we're going to move the body forward just slightly. So the roller goes up about 1/2 inch, just a tiny movement. If you find a tender spot, you can always move that knee up and down. That helps release that trigger point or any of that tender tissue or sensitive area, and then move up again and rock side to side. So we want to release that fascia tissue or soften it, any of those, that crystallized tissue or that area, those trigger points. And again, keep rocking and slowly moving your body forward so the roller moves up the back of that glute all the way to the top of it. When you get to the top, we're going to lower to the elbow. It's a little easier to get there. And then you're going to straighten out that right leg, and you're going to roll yourself towards the side, the right side of the body, and then back onto that right top of that glute, and then back to the side, making sure you're not hitting that top of that hip bone there. So you want to have that roller right below that hip bone. One more rock and roll. Hold it on the side so your left knee is bent, foot flat, and then you're going to pull that right knee in and out. So just getting a little bit, again, softening the tissue. This is the TFL that attaches the IT band. So not only are we helping the back and the hips here, we're getting in to help the knee, but we're going to get more into the legs to help the knees a little bit later. And then we're also going to get into the upper shoulder blade so we can really help relieve any kind of neck or shoulder tension. Last one. Now from here, you're just going to slide forward off of that roller and then bring the legs out in front of you. So again, after you roll those areas, you want to make sure you stretch them. So we're going to pull the right knee in, cross it over because we just rolled it, so we're going to jump in there because it's there, and hug the knee into the chest. Give it a squeeze, stretching it out through that glute and hip area. One more breath, and then we're going to release. Let's do the left side. Hug it in, twist the opposite way. Flexing the right foot, pushing that leg into the floor, so feeling that left glute and hip stretching out. You want this to feel good, especially in that low back. Now we're going to release. We're going to set the roller to the side, and we're going to get our tennis ball. So again, going into releasing the hip and the glute, we're going to use the tennis ball. We're going to go back to that left butt cheek again. So to go there, we're going to lean to the right, and I want you to take that tennis ball, and you're going to put it underneath your glute as close to the lower part of the sits bones that you can comfortably go, and then just gently lean on it. Now, we're on the tennis ball's on the left butt cheek. The right leg is straight, and the left knee is bent, foot flat, leaning back on your hands. Now, if it does not feel comfortable to lean back on the hands, you can always bring that roller behind you, and it gives you a little support in that low back. And you can drop the left knee, open and close. So just getting into any of those trigger points. Sometimes it can be a little tender and sensitive because it has a big job of rotating those hips, the muscles, the tissue, and the muscles in that glute and the legs. Now one more, drop it open and close. Pull the knee up. Now you're going to keep the tennis ball right where it is, but I want you to slide your body about 1/2 inch forward towards the front of your mat, and then drop that knee open and close again. So the tennis ball is moving slowly up the inside left edge of that left glute. Open and close. One more. So you do about 4 knee open and close, and then slide it up again. Slowly moving up that glute with the tennis ball, open and close. And again, some might find tender spots, some might not, and then a little higher. And it might be different from one glute or butt cheek to the other. Open and close. And then after you get the forward on, you slide forward again. So that tennis ball is moving way up to the top of that glute. On that left side, a little higher. So getting into the glute minimus and even that piriformis that goes across the back, that top, but pretty deep in there, a little higher. Now when you feel like you've gotten to the top of the glute, you can't go anymore, you're going to slide slightly about an inch to the right, so the tennis ball goes more to the middle of that glute, and you're going to drop that knee open and closed again. So we're going to do kind of a loop here. And then pull the knee up and then slide the body now backwards. So the the tennis ball is moving down towards the middle of that butt cheek. And then drop it open and close. Anybody find a spot? Oh, a little bit of a tender spot there. And when we can release this, it helps with hip mobility, helps with our leg range of motion, as well as that low back. If there's any pain going on there or stiffness, move back again, half an inch or an inch, and drop that knee open again. And then slide back again. So where are you feeling this? You might even feel it if you feel a spot and you want to hold it. You can feel it all the way, maybe to the front. It's all connected. And just keep moving yourself so it goes, that tennis ball is moving back down towards those sits bones. 4 knee drops. 3 or 4, whatever feels good to you. If you want to do more, you can. Now when you get to the bottom there, back down towards, getting towards the hamstring and the glute where they meet, this time we're going to keep the tennis ball there, but we're sliding a little more to the right. So now the tennis ball is moving to the outside edge of that left butt cheek. And we're going to drop it open again. So just really getting deep into that tissue today. If you have a spot you feel like you need to go back and work on, you are welcome to. After 4, then you move your body forward. So now that tennis ball moves back up the outside edge. So we're kind of doing like an S, like we went up the middle, up the side, down the middle, and then now up the outside edge. And then move forward again. It moves up through the side. A little more forward. Now as you move up into the side here of that glute, maybe rolling a little to that left side, getting into that TFL, the upper glute area can get pretty tight. And you might have noticed from the tennis ball to the roller, those areas, they need a little extra attention, some tender loving care there. A little higher. So as you get up there, it's right on the outside edge of that upper glute. There can be some spots there. One more. Now when you're done and you've reached all that, if you're still working on it, keep going, that's fine. But let's stretch that area. So place the tennis ball to the side. We were working the left, so we're going to hug that left knee in. Now if you want to get that a little deeper stretch, an option is to bend your right knee and pull that foot back. If you're not sure what I mean, you would just slightly bend the left, pull that right foot underneath the left thigh. And you can bend the left knee in front of the shin or across to the outside edge. So that left foot is on the floor on the outside of your right thigh. And we're hugging that left knee into the chest with your right arm, left arm behind as a kickstand, and just twist. So you're just really stretching out that whole area. And breathe. Remember, science is telling us, if you haven't heard this yet, that the tissue, when you hold that stretch, is hydrating, pulling in nutrients. So we want to keep those hips hydrated, nutrient dense, and so the bones stay strong and mobile, and we can keep getting up and down off the floor and keep living a better quality of life no matter what age we are. Last breath on this stretch, and then we're going to release. Now we're going to go to the other side. I know you're excited about getting into that right side. Sometimes if we're dominant on the right, it can be a little more tender. So you're going to sit up nice and tall. Lean to your left. You're going to bring that tennis ball very close to the right sits bone. Left leg stays straight. Lean back on your arms. Again, use that foam roller against that low back if you want a little support. And then draw that right knee open and closed. The foot is flat on the floor, the knee is bent, and then you drop the knee open to the right and back up. And then after you do 4, you just slide your body forward about an inch to half an inch to an inch and drop that knee open and closed again. Four times, and then move up. Again, making adjustments as you go. You might get a little hip release even with when you release some of that tension down there. I mean, we sit on our glutes a lot at the desk, at work, when we're driving, when we're sitting at the table or watching TV on the couch. And then 4, and then move up. So just keep on moving through it. Finding any of those spots. A little higher. Getting to the inside edge of that right butt cheek. Very top. When you get to the top, you're going to move slightly to your left so that tennis ball goes towards the middle top of your butt cheek, of the right butt cheek, and then drop that knee open and closed. And after 3 or 4 knee moves, you're going to slide back so that tennis ball goes down, moving slowly down towards that hamstring, through the glute. And a little bit more. Sliding it down. Can you tell a difference between the right and left side? Way different, possibly. Maybe they're both tender. Maybe you're like, oh, I'm good on both sides. Everybody's a little different. And move back again. Sometimes when we get deep into the middle of the glute, it's like, ooh, there's a spot there. And a little bit more. So again, moving down towards those sits bones right in the middle of the glute, towards that hamstring. Now once you get to the bottom there, you're going to slide slightly to your left. So now that tennis ball is coming way to the outside edge, and then drop that knee open and closed. Adjust the pressure. If it's excruciating or sending nerve pain, don't put as much pressure on that spot. It's definitely not the goal. The goal is to relax here, just massage out any of those trigger points. Always go back to them if they're really sensitive. Just do like if you hit one, you're like, oh, that's pretty sensitive. Move on from it and then go back to it later. Sometimes if you get the surrounding tissue softened, that will start to loosen up too. So we're moving the body slightly forward as that tennis ball moves up the outside edge of the right butt cheek. A little higher. Sometimes I don't even do 4 knee drops if I feel like that area is pretty good. I'll just move on. Just do a couple. And if you're in a hurry and you want to just get them done quicker, just dropping it in. And as you move higher up that glute, getting into that edge of that TFL, the upper glute. I'm losing my tennis ball there. Sometimes you have to lean way back to get in the upper glute area. Last one. So continue on if you are still working that glute. Otherwise, you can place the tennis ball to the side. Straighten out that left leg. We're going to hug the right knee in and give it a stretch and a twist. Option if you want to go deeper. You can slide your left foot underneath your right knee. Pull it nice and close to your right butt cheek. And you can hug that right knee in, or you can pull that right foot across the left thigh, placing it on the floor, hugging it into the chest. I just give options. You pick what works for you. And just give that knee a squeeze. The right hand's behind you as a kickstand, lift and twist. So you're really feeling that nice stretch through the glutes, the hip. And again, this will really help loosen up any tension that you have in that low back. It will help too when we get into the quads. That will help to to fix our rotation of our hips, and we're going to get into calves. We're going to use that tennis ball and get behind the knee a bit, just to release any tension going on in the connective tissue around the knees if you have knee pain. Now we're going to release that leg. We're going to move on to upper back, like more of the shoulder blades and armpit area. So when you go into this area, be mindful if you're missing lymph nodes, where not to roll or where to roll. So I'm going to start on the left again. I like to always save the right for last, if you haven't noticed, because we're majority are right dominant. Some of you are not, but then you just get the bonus of getting the tough side done first if you're left dominant. So you're going to bring your left elbow over the back of the roller. Place your hand under your head so you support it. And now you're going to rock into the armpit area. And just notice if there's any tender spots there. A little bit of pressure. Maybe lift the elbow slightly off the floor while you're there. I'm laying on my left side with my knee on the floor, and then my right knee is bent with my foot flat for a little bit of support. Then you're going to roll backwards towards that shoulder blade, lifting the elbow off the floor. And you'll stay here and just roll up and down if you are missing lymph nodes. Otherwise, I want you to roll again towards that chest wall, letting the armpit and then the lat just melt into the roller. And then lift the elbow slightly off the floor, just adding a little more pressure, and then release the elbow back to the floor, roll back slowly. Option to lift the hips. And then one more time. We're just going to roll in there slow, find that armpit, maybe the chest wall, lift the elbow just slightly so you get a little pressure there. Elbow comes back down, and then we're going to roll back one more time. Shoulder blade. Now bring that left arm next to the body. So you're reaching your left hand towards your left thigh. And so the whole arm is against that roller. Now you're going to roll onto that left arm right at the top. And you're just going to do about an inch. We're moving forward and back. So just getting into the back of that tricep and the very top of the shoulder. See if you can roll a little bit forward so that roller goes to the very top of that shoulder, and then back into the arm, and then back into the back of the shoulder and the top of the arm there. One more time. And then keeping the arm there, roll slightly back onto the left shoulder blade. Maybe lift the hips if you can, and move yourself forward and back an inch, just rolling right there. And then we're going to release, and you're going to sit up nice and tall. Just give a couple shoulder rolls and notice the difference. Add the other shoulder in, rotating it around. So we're trying to get them loosened up, relieve any of that tension. We're going to go to the right side now, and we're going to get really deep with that tennis ball in between those shoulder blades. So now we're going to drop to our right hip. The right armpit goes on top of that roller, the hand under the head. Like you're just chilling out here, right? You can even bend your left knee, place the foot flat so you have some support. No lymph nodes, and you stay back into that shoulder blade. You're good to go. You lean forward into the armpit chest wall and maybe lift the elbow slightly off the floor. Bring the elbow back down and then roll backwards. Elbow comes off the floor. Maybe a little push forward and back an inch, massaging through that shoulder blade, rotator cuff. And then back into the armpit, lift the elbow, and then release it back to the floor. So when we lift the elbow, if that's way too much pressure, you don't have to go there. Then lean back into the shoulder blade, lift the elbow again off the floor, a little movement. 2 more times, and then back into the armpit, elbow on the floor, and then once you're settled into the armpit, lat, little bit of chest wall, lift the elbow off the floor, if you can do that. If not, no. Don't force it. You want it to feel comfortable. When I first started doing foam roller back in 2008, yeah, there was no way I could have done that. But now I work it a lot more so I don't have that tension. And then last one, back into that armpit, lift the elbow. And it might have gotten a little easier every time. Place the elbow down, roll back into the shoulder blade, lift the elbow. A little movement. Now from here, we're going to roll back into that shoulder blade a little more. Bring that right arm down next to the body so your right hand's reaching to the right thigh. And then lean into that right arm and then move yourself just about an inch forward and back. Massaging through it, getting a little bit of the tricep, and then go a little bit lower so that roller moves towards the top of the shoulder or back of the arm, and then back up and then down. So if you have any shoulder rotator cuff issues, or any kind of bad things that have happened to your shoulder, you might have some scar tissue, this might be a little sensitive. Last one. Now we're going to roll ourselves back up again. Give a couple shoulder rolls, loosen things up. Might feel a little relief in the shoulder and the neck area. So now we're going to use that tennis ball. And we're going to get in a little deeper. If you want to use the foam roller or a block, I had to think of what are we working with? For your head support, you can. So we're going to take that tennis ball, and it's going to be going right in between the vertebrae and the shoulder blade, but not at the top. It's going to be down, right down in here. So you're going to lay on your back, bring that tennis ball, find your left shoulder blade. So we're on the left side, and then slide your body up so it just finds right in the middle of that shoulder blade. If you can get your head on the floor, great. If it's too painful, keep your head on the roller. So that's an option there if you want a little bit less tension. Knees are bent, feet are flat, and then start just by reaching your left arm over your head and then back to your hip. And again, you can have that roller underneath your head, or you can have your head on the floor, and then just reach that single left arm. So that tennis ball should be getting into behind, like kind of underneath that left shoulder blade. Continue reaching that arm, noticing it's massaging it out, any tension, softening the tissue. Now we're going to bring that left arm up to the sky and then let it come out to the side and then pull it across the body. So you're kind of going across like a T and then across the body like you're going to give yourself a one-arm hug. One more. And then let the arm rest open to the side. Maybe it doesn't go to the floor. Mine actually doesn't go to the floor right now. I got some tightness going on. You might feel it through the bicep. You might even feel it all the way up through the neck because it connects up there. So make adjustments. So maybe you slide yourself towards down so that tennis ball moves up towards the top inside edge of that shoulder blade. Or you move down and you want it down towards a little more towards the middle or bottom. Make adjustments as long as you can breathe and it's not too intense. Then from here, you're going to slide your hips to the right and your whole body, and you're going to bring that tennis ball, let it slide across your shoulder blade right behind the armpit. And again, same thing, your head maybe on the, and you might even want to pull your head to the roller here if it's not there yet. And you can bring your left arm out to the side, and then you're going to sweep your left arm like you're doing a single arm snow angel. Just getting into that armpit, or not the armpit, excuse me, the back of that shoulder blade. Now turn your palm down and sweep it. And then back up. Now start to drop your hips and your knees to the left, and then roll a little more to your left side so that tennis ball is moving closer to the armpit. You can bring your elbow down. Find that sweet spot, that little tender spot. Have your hand up and then let it drop backwards so the back of the hand goes to the floor or your roller, and just hold and pause here. And then bring it slowly up, rotate the palm down, and then back of the hand. So we might be getting into some tender areas here, that rotator cuff. Up and down. One more. And then you're going to lift the arm up, remove that tennis ball, and then sit all the way up. You want to stretch the area that you just did, so we're going to pull that left arm all the way across the body, and then wiggle the fingers. Release. You might feel a nice release of the neck here. Take that same arm, reach it for your spine, elbow to the sky, and you can press on the elbow or you can even pull it over. Make sure your head doesn't fall forward. Stretching through the armpit, maybe lean to the right away from that arm that's extended, and then release. Let that arm come all the way down. Feel a little bit of a whoosh through that shoulder. So now we're going to go to the other side. So now we're going to get behind that right shoulder blade with that tennis ball. So again, lay your head on the roller. Bring the tennis ball behind you. Maybe you have to slide upward so it goes in the right spot. It's not hitting your vertebrae at all. It's not on the bone. So you're right in that little spot between the vertebrae and the shoulder blade. And again, head can be on the roller or all the way on the floor. And then take your right arm up to the sky, reach it over your head, and your feet are flat, knees are bent. And just massage along there and notice what you have going on. If it's too much pressure, lean more to your left so you don't have as much on that right side. And adjust, either move that tennis ball higher or lower to find a spot that is doable for you. And maybe you can only do a few reaches, and that's okay. One more, and then we're going to go, it moved out to the side to the right, and then across. Out to the side, the right arm out to the side, and then bring it across the body. And maybe you move again. Maybe you adjust that tennis ball, move it a little higher. And just notice how the arm feels when you come out. Are you feeling a stretch in the bicep? Where is it tight? Make adjustments. I'm trying a little lower now. So just sliding that body either forward or back, like up or down, so that tennis ball moves to the right spot, or just get into a new spot. Now we're going to slide to the left. So the tennis ball is going to start to move along that shoulder blade, going towards the right armpit. Once you get towards the back of that shoulder blade and the armpit, again, make adjustments, maybe bring it a little bit higher. And you're going to sweep the arm, the right arm, like you're doing a single arm snow angel. Again, feet are flat, knees bent. Protect your low back, pushing your back into the mat. One more. Now you're going to bend your right elbow. Start to tilt and turn your body to the right side so you can drop your knees to the right. So that tennis ball moves to the soft spot right behind that armpit, right below that shoulder, finding the rotator cuff. And again, this might be where you really bring that foam roller behind your head. You can get a little more range of motion that way. And then bring the back of your hand to the floor. Your elbow's on the floor. Your arm is bent, the right arm. And you're rotating through the shoulder to bring the back of the hand to the floor and then the palm towards the floor. Massaging that rotator cuff. So again, this is going to help you get more range of motion in your shoulders, maybe help you expand through the chest, get rid of some of that neck or shoulder pain. Last one. Now you're going to come off of your side and you're going to slowly roll yourself up. And again, very important, stretching it every time after. So let's bring the right arm across the body, wiggle those fingers. So just really stretching it out. Pull it across. And you can be cross-legged, you can have a leg out, both legs out, whatever works for you. And then bring that right arm up. So the elbow goes to the sky, the fingertips towards the spine. Make sure your head's not falling forward. Lift up nice and tall, and maybe lean away from the arm towards your left. And then we'll release. Might feel a little bit of movement, that blood flow, rotate those shoulders. So we're feeling pretty loose. We've done a lot of the back, the hips, the glutes, the upper shoulder. So we're going to move a little higher and go into the neck here. You can place your tennis ball to the side, but keep it close because we're going to use it again. So you're going to roll backwards. So you're going to put the roller like a pillow under your head. And we're going to start with, again, the left side. So turn your head slightly to the left, but bring the roller a little bit higher. So it's hitting the left occipital bone, so the bony part of the back of your head, not the cervical vertebrae. And then just nod yes and no. And then we're going to try the right side. So just turn your head to the right, find that occipital bone. Little nod yes and no. So we're not on the muscle there, just the neck area. Then from there, we're going to bring the head back to neutral, get your tennis ball. Now from here, you're going to scoot that roller higher up on your head. So I'm going to demonstrate here by just leaning to the right so you can see. So my head is turned to the right. My head is on the roller. I'm going to lift up my right shoulder enough that I can bring that tennis ball right at the base of my neck on the right side. And then I'm just sliding my body upward towards the roller enough that I can put a little pressure and tilt to the right. So just get a little into it. Keep your hand on the tennis ball. Keep your left hand on the tennis ball. Reach your right arm away so you're getting a little bit of a stretch with pressure. And then release the hand, the right hand. And then we're going to try the other side. So first things first, you're going to bring the tennis ball underneath. I'm going to turn around so you can see. So first thing you're going to do is head is on the roller, and you're going to bring that tennis ball right where the top of the shoulder is. And you're going to hold it there, and then you're going to reach your right arm up to the sky and then down towards your hip. And just push pressure on that tennis ball. So we're kind of stretching basically the left side of the neck, the muscles. You might not feel anything. You might feel something on both one side and not the other. Last one. Release your left hand to the floor. And then we're going to release that. Go ahead and take the tennis ball, place it to the side. Hug the knees. And then roll yourself up. So we want to stretch and lengthen that neck, the shoulders, slide both fists under the knees, and then lift yourself up, and then walk your feet forward. So you're stretching. You're using the resistance of your legs to pull your arms down to really stretch through the neck. And we're breathing. And then tilt your right ear to the right shoulder. Drop your chin slightly down. So you're stretching out the left back side of the neck, and then head to neutral. Tilt your left ear to left shoulder. Tilt your chin just slightly down. And then head back to neutral. And then gently turn your head to the left. And then through the center to the right. Notice how your head can turn. Again, turn left. And then all the way to the right. And then back to center. Big shoulder rolls. You can leave your feet flat or you can cross them. Roll those shoulders. So maybe you feel something going on in the front now and you want to stretch a little more. So let's bring the fingertips together, interlace them behind the back. Stretch and open up that chest, wall, and the shoulders. Now check in with the chin. It tends to go forward when we do this. Your hands can be on the floor or maybe lift them off. And then release. Give them a shake. Give those arms a shake. All right, so we're moving on. Hopefully we're a little looser in the neck, the shoulders, everywhere. We're going to bring that roller in front of us, and we're going to move on to quads and get everything feeling good down there. In the leg portion, you're going to assume an elbow plank with the roller right above those knees. So be mindful of keeping the core engaged, shoulders away from the ears. Now that the neck and the shoulders are nice and loose, pull the belly into the spine and then move yourself forward and back 1 inch. About 3 or 4 times. And then you're going to walk the elbows back and move yourself forward and back 1 inch. The goal here is to relax as much of the body as you can. Walk the elbows back, and you're going to do forward and back 1 inch. And you don't have to worry about spending a ton of time at each area. Keep walking backwards, forward and back. When you get towards the top of those thighs, might be a little more tender, massaging them out. Now when you get to the top of the thighs, we're going to actually walk the elbows forward and then slowly draw your body forward so the roller moves down your thighs. Slowly, slowly, till it gets back to the top of your knees. And then you're going to bend and straighten those knees. Make sure you're keeping that belly button pulled in tight so you don't affect that low back. So you do about 2, 3, 4, bend the knees, and then move up. Move your body backwards so the roller moves up the thighs, and then bend and straighten again. It's a few times. And then walk the elbows back, and then bend and straighten. So this is going to really help again with the hips and the knees. That's the bonus here. We get 2 joints to loosen up and move more freely. Bend and straighten. If you notice that one quad has more spots than the other as far as trigger points, tender spots, just focus on that. Maybe taking a little less pressure off if it's too much. But keep moving on up those thighs and keep bending and straightening those knees. So that quad stretches over the knees, up into the hips. When it gets tight, we get knee pain. All right, once you're down, once your feet are on the floor, your roller is right at the top of the hips. Let's roll off of the back of that roller and bend the knees. Let's take a child's pose. So draw your hips to your heels and bring the roller out in front of you, arms wide, so you can really stretch it all out. Stretch the back, stretch the quads over the knees, the armpits. Draw your head towards the floor. See if you can melt a little deeper to the floor. Hopefully when you're done with all this, you'll have more mobility, a little less pain if you have any pain in some of those joints of the body. And then we're going to come all the way back up. We're going to sit down on the hips and bring the legs in front. Now we're going to tackle calf muscles. So again, really trying to loosen up anything that's bothering our knees. So we will start again with that left calf, and by drawing the right ankle over the left calf. You're going to be all the way down by the Achilles tendon. So basically when you bend the knee, your heel hits the roller, and then you straighten out that left leg, and it goes about the mid part of the lower calf, and then straighten and bend. So you're adding some pressure to this area, and I want you to start to rotate the ankle as you're straightening and bending. Just massaging it out. It's called rinsing and rehydrating that tissue. Change direction of the ankle as you go bending and straightening. And then we're going to do the outside edge. So tilt that whole leg to the left, bend and straighten, and then add some pressure onto that area if it's comfortable, and then start to rotate the ankle. You're going to notice quite a difference when you rotate that ankle as you're bending and straightening. And then rotate the opposite way. Just a few times. If you find a knot, you can pause on it and continue rotating. And then we're going to move to the inside edge of the left leg. So you just tilt your leg and your body slightly to the right, and then bend and straighten that left leg, putting a little pressure, and now draw circles. And don't forget, keep it low. My roller keeps moving up. You're going to hit the inside edge of that bone of the ankle bone as you're bending and straightening. If this gets tiring on the hands, the wrist, or the shoulders, feel free to drop to your elbows or all the way onto your back. Rotate the ankle both directions. And then we're going to move that roller up so it's in the meaty part of the calf. We're still on the left leg. Cross the right leg over it. Now when we bend the knee, we're going to be ending up kind of the top of where we finished before. And then when we straighten, you're going to be ending up right below the knee joint, so not going behind it. So make those adjustments and then bend and straighten and then rotate the ankle and our toes straight up and down to the ceiling, to the sky. And then change direction. And again, getting all the different areas of that calf. And then turn your body and your legs slightly to the left. We're going the outer edge of that left leg and then rotate that ankle. Massaging it out and then rotate the opposite way. Notice any knots going on there. And you can go way to the side in the upper part of that calf, depending on what feels okay to you. Then we're going to the inside edge. So tilt everything to the right, bend and straighten and rotate the ankle. And we just go do it a little bit on the slow side, change direction of the ankle rotation, and just helps get in there to any of those trigger spots and tender spots. Once we are done with that, we're going to roll that roller back down. So we're going to the bottom part of the right calf, and when you bend it, you're going to hit that heel. Cross your left leg over the top. Right leg is straight up and down to the sky, and we're rotating the right ankle as you bend and straighten that right knee. And then change direction. You might get a little snap, crackle, pop in the ankle. This also helps our mobility in our feet. Now you're going to tilt both legs slightly to the right, bend and straighten again. The lower part of that right leg, add a little pressure, rotating that ankle. And change direction. If you have a trigger spot, you just pause on it, rotate the ankle. You don't have to keep moving past it. And then we're going to turn in. So last lower part of the leg, turning in to the left and rotate the ankle. You can always come back and spend more time. We just have so many body parts here. Today, I want to get through all of them. So now you're going to bring it up a little higher. So just test it out and you bend and straighten, that it's getting that nice meaty part of the calf, the gastrocnemius. So bend and straighten and then circle the ankle. You want this to feel good, hopefully. You're relaxed. Change direction of the ankle rotation and then tilt your legs to the right, get the upper outer edge. This whole routine could be a warm-up or definitely a cool-down after working out. Or just if you're stiff because you've been sitting at a desk all day working, maybe you went on a long car ride or been sitting a lot. So you're going to tilt now to the left, last one. Getting the inside edge of that right leg. Rotate that ankle as you bend and straighten the knee. And the fun part about this is it makes your brain work. You have to get the bending and straightening and circling at the same time. So we challenge our mental capacity. And then when you are done, go ahead and release. Place the roller to the side and grab your tennis ball. So we're going to get that connective tissue from the calf up into that attaches up through the knee. So starting at the left knee, place the tennis ball behind the left knee, but make sure it's sticking out enough that you can see it, and you're going to hold that tennis ball there. You're going to pull that left knee in. So it's sticking out the side, but you're still getting on the edge of that left knee. So it's halfway behind the knee and halfway sticking out on the outside of the left knee. Then you're going to lift your foot off the floor and you're going to rotate the ankle. You might be feeling that. And then rotate the ankle the other way. Just a quick way to get a little deeper into that gastroc, that calf. And then point and flex the ankle, the foot. And then release it on the floor. And then with the foot on the floor, keep the tennis ball there and just lift your toes off the floor. Keep the heel down and then place it back down. Just notice the difference. Now switch. The tennis ball is now going to go on the inside, halfway on the inside edge of the left knee, sticking out halfway. And you still want to hold the tennis ball there because it'll pop right out. Especially depending on what pants you're wearing or short. So you're going to hold it in, hug that left knee in, try to relax it, and then lift the foot off the floor and rotate the ankle. And you're just hugging that knee in. Reverse direction. And then place the foot on the floor, lift and lower. Heel on the floor. You might even feel the anterior tibialis, the shin getting warm. It's working. Then you're going to release and we're going to switch legs. So now it's going to go on the right back of the right knee, halfway sticking out. Pull that knee in, pull the foot off the floor, and rotate the right ankle. I don't know if you can see it very well. I'm wearing yellow pants and a yellow tennis ball. Switch direction. So it's halfway sticking out. And then push the heel on the floor, and then lift and lower the toes. Just a great way to release any tension right up there at the edge. That connective tissue to the knee. Now we're going to the other side, so the right knee, but behind it on the inside edge, hug the knee in, lift and rotate. Change direction. And then go ahead and point and flex. The heel is on the floor. And then release. Go ahead and place that tennis ball to the side. We're going to straighten out those legs. I want you to just feel the stretch through the calf muscles. So what we're going to do is we're going to bend that left knee slightly, slide the right ankle underneath, foot is up, and then lean forward. And then just bend slightly your left knee, flex your foot, reach for your toe, and then try to straighten it and bend it. So your heel might be sliding on the mat just a little bit. A little side to side. Now hold that toe, bend the knee, slide your right foot out from under the knee and see if you can try to straighten it towards the floor. Stretching through the calf. And then we're going to release and we're going to switch sides. So bend the right knee, slide your left ankle underneath, flex the foot, lift through the spine, pelvis tilt, reach for your toe. If you cannot reach your toe, bend your knee. And then practice trying to straighten it out as much as you can. A couple times. Then we're going to take that left leg out from under the knee and see if you can go a little lower. Really stretching through that whole calf, up through the knee joint. One last one. And then release both legs forward, give them a shake. And then sit nice and tall, cross those legs. You're welcome to sit up on your roller if you would like, or you can sit on the floor. I might even sit on the roller. Just get a little bit of a space, either one. So you can do either or. Sit nice and tall. Bring the fingertips to the outside edge of your mat. And then open up that chest by walking the fingertips back behind you. Open it up. Start to rotate your fingers towards the back wall. So you really open that chest a little more. Make sure your head's not falling forward. Ears over shoulders, shoulders over hips. Sit tall and tight. We're going to zip up the belly. Take your right hand and reach it towards your left knee and twist over to the left. Over to the left, yes. Feel that nice stretch, and then slowly release and transition to the other side. Lift through the spine and twist. A little bit of a stretch, and then come back through the center. Slide, place your hands on your thighs, slide your shoulders to your ears, and then all the way back down. Tuck your chin, take a deep breath in, reach the arms overhead. Exhale, palms to heart space. Thank you so much for joining me today. Namaste.